Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live like a Stoic in today's chaotic world? In this video, we uncover the surprising secrets that ancient Stoics used to master their emotions, build unbreakable resilience, and face any challenge with quiet confidence. Discover how you can simplify and strengthen your life, starting now. How to live realistically like a Stoic. Stoic Lifestyle Simplified, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Know what's in your control. Imagine standing on a windswept cliff at sunrise, the world spread out beneath you, silent and limitless. There is a sense of boundless possibility, but suddenly a fierce gust nearly knocks you off balance. A reminder that, no matter how strong your desire, you cannot command the wind. Each of us is that solitary figure, confronting a world shaped by chance, fate, and forces beyond our grasp. Day after day, we step into situations that test our strength. A job interview derailed by traffic, a friend's betrayal, the churn of anxious thoughts in the darkest hours of the night. So many of life's moments arrive suddenly and strike unexpectedly, leaving us scrambling to make sense of what is happening, desperate to rewrite events we cannot control. Inside, there is often a battle raging. Perhaps you recognize it. A silent quarrel with the way things are, frustration at how little you can truly steer life's course. Emotional mastery starts to feel impossible when faced with so many unknowns, so many variables slipping through your grasp. You long to command not just your actions, but also the outcome. The score on the test, the words of another person, the weather that ruins hard-laid plans. This desperate wrestling for control, for certainty in an uncertain world, is at the heart of so much of our suffering. We imagine we are like archers with perfect arrows, aiming at targets only the universe can move, feeling deep frustration when the wind carries those arrows far from their mark. It is little wonder, then, that anxiety and disappointment seem to shadow every bright hope. Who hasn't felt regret over something said in anger, or wished long after a situation spirals beyond control to grasp those loose threads and pull things back together? Many feel helpless against the whirlwind. The search for impact and emotional control becomes exhausting, like steering a fragile boat through relentless storms. Every wave reminding us that mastery over ourselves requires first accepting our limits. This is where we come face to face with the central truth, a lesson as ancient as the stones beneath our feet, but as urgent and relevant as our next breath. The wisdom of the Stoic is quiet but unwavering. Focus only on what is truly up to you. The world will continue to stir storms, to raise obstacles, to throw unexpected winds your way. The only steadfast ground, the only helm you can grip with certainty, is your own mind and your own actions. Everything else, no matter how tightly you clutch it, belongs to the sea. This perspective is not passive. It is the secret source of an undefeatable self. It means learning with fierce determination to channel energy inward, to master your thoughts, to govern your responses, to hold tightly only what is yours to hold. And in doing this, you unlock a new sense of strength, an inner silence that cannot be touched by events outside your control. Picture this principle in action. Someone insults you at work, hoping to provoke anger. In the old way, you might have felt offended, replayed their words, allowed them to plant seeds of doubt within you. Yet, through the Stoic lens, you realize the words themselves, the intention behind them, are not yours to control. Your choice, whether to respond with dignity, to breathe deeply, to rise above the bait, this is entirely your own. Here, emotional control begins. You realize the boundaries of your mastery, not the world or other people's changes of heart, but your own conduct, your own emotional landscape. With each disciplined act of letting go, of focusing on effort rather than outcome, you find a fountain of calm bubbling up inside, as if drawing on a clear spring untouched by the shifting weather above. As you train your mind in this way, you begin to notice a quiet power growing within. Changes in circumstance lose their ability to shake you, because you have built a foundation not on sand, but on bedrock. Your own choices, attitudes, and actions. The disciplined soul becomes like the still fire that burns no matter the storm outside. The more you practice this separation, what is yours, what is not, the more you unlock courage and steadiness. a rare kind of attractiveness that draws people to those who move through life with serenity and purpose. This journey does not ask for perfection. It asks only for vigilance and honesty. It is this humble, persistent attention to the boundaries of our control that makes mastery possible. In that attention, you will find freedom waiting, the quiet confidence of the silent Stoic, prepared not to command the wind, but to hold fast at the helm, undisturbed and undefeatable. This is where impact begins, where fear breaks, and where the training of your mind yields fruit that no misfortune can steal. By knowing what is in your control and mastering only that, you become like the archer who, aiming solely at the discipline of his shot, discovers that peace lies not in the moving target, but within the steady, unyielding strength of his own hands. Begin each day by identifying one event or circumstance you cannot control and intentionally release your grip on it. Choose one small action or response that is fully within your power and commit to mastering it. As you do this, you'll discover greater calm and resilience, finding satisfaction in your steady focus. Let this become your silent strength, guiding you to steady improvement, one decision at a time. In the next lesson, we'll explore how acceptance, meeting reality without complaint, unlocks even deeper inner peace. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, give this video a like, and share your thoughts to help our community grow stronger. Lesson 2. Accept reality without complaints. Imagine a tranquil lake at dawn, its surface perfectly still, mirroring pale clouds and the faint blush of morning sun. Into this delicate image falls a single stone, ripples spilling across the calm, shifting every reflection. Life, for each of us, is like that mirror, beautiful and filled with potential until the unexpected appears. We all crave mornings when the waters of life are unbroken. Yet, time and again, we find ourselves bracing against stormy winds or the sting of disappointment that shakes even our stillest intentions. There is a subtle, restless ache in the attempt to master emotions and achieve unshakable calm. You plan a day with the best of intentions, yet someone's harsh words or a rude stranger's careless act disrupt your mood. Projects at work unravel, sudden losses roll into your path, and dreams slip further away with a phone call you never wanted to receive. The mind, like a bird in a storm, flutters wildly. Why does this happen? Why can't things stay as you wish them to be? Every disappointment is another drop of rain tapping at your resolve, threatening to awaken complaints and regrets that leave your spirit restless. The root struggle for many lies concealed in the expectation that reality should always unfold as we envision it. The silent wish that life bends to your will transforms minor inconveniences into thorns and sharpens true setbacks into wounds that ache for years. Perhaps after a difficult meeting you replay conversations, resentment coiling within. Rejection stings, a plan fails, or plans are rearranged at the last moment, and you feel every fiber of your being tense in resistance. This inner turmoil is not just fatigue, it's an unwillingness to accept the world as it is. Our complaints, whether whispered or roared, are like desperate attempts to bail water from a leaky ship, exhausting and never enough to calm the raging tide. But imagine instead moving through adversity as a seasoned sailor rides the waves. Rather than berating the sea for its power, a true navigator accepts its changing moods. He reads the winds, studies the stars, and lets the current carry him forward with a calm heart. This is the essence of the second Stoic lesson. To accept reality without complaints is to unlock a doorway to deep emotional control and serene resilience. Instead of demanding that things should be different, anchor yourself in a mindset of clear-eyed acceptance, divorcing your peace from the world's relentless turning. Here lies an inviting paradox. The power to shape your inner life emerges when you let go of the need to resist what you cannot change. This acceptance is humble, never passive. It is the strength of a silent Stoic who meets hardship without protest, understanding that every trial, setback, or surprise is a companion on the journey, a forge for character, a test for inner resolve. Complaints sap you of your power and keep you swirling in frustration, but acceptance frees your energy, returning it to you like air rushing back when you let go of a clenched fist. To accept reality does not mean enjoying every moment or masquerading joy through adversity. Instead, it means looking honestly at the situation before you and choosing, with dignity, not to argue with it. You realize the present is already here. You cannot relive yesterday or rework the events that have unfolded. So you exhale. Bit by bit, you unburden yourself of resistance, finding that peace is not the absence of troubling winds, but the calm with which you adjust your sails to meet them. The world does not need your complaints. It merely asks you to stand silent and strong, like a mountain unshaken by the storms that pass. This acceptance, fiercely practiced, permits you to move through every day undefeated and unlocks an inner light that draws others to your steadiness. Pause when adversity appears, acknowledge it without complaint, and shift your focus to what you can influence next. With this practice, your mind grows calmer, transforming setbacks into moments of inner strength. Begin today by accepting one small frustration as it is, and watch your peace blossom. In our next lesson, discover how building calm through daily habits strengthens your silent resilience. If this inspired you, please subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts below to enrich our growing community. Lesson 3. Build calm through daily habits. Imagine a sturdy fortress set high upon quiet hills, its walls unshaken despite restless winds and gathering storms below. This fortress does not rise by accident. It is built stone by stone, day after day, until its quiet strength becomes a living testament. In the quest for emotional mastery, you too are an architect, each day an invitation to lay another stone in the foundation of your inner calm. In truth, most of us yearn for that sturdy place within, a calm stronghold that the chaos of life cannot breach. Mornings rush by, deadlines press in, and the smallest misstep can knock our mood from balance. At times, it feels as if we are ships on a rolling sea, always swaying, always one wave away from being swept under by irritation, stress, or fear. The greatest struggle arises not from monumental adversity, but from the relentless drip of small troubles that threaten to erode our resolve. A misplaced set of keys, the distraction of unwelcome news, an unexpected criticism that echo in your mind for the rest of the day. Over time, the subtle friction of everyday life wears the nerves thin and makes outbursts, or defeat, seem inevitable. This kind of steady turbulence produces a deep longing for calm, a safe inner harbor to which we can always retreat. Yet as you may have noticed, calm does not emerge in moments of crisis by mere wish. We look for instantaneous relief, a magical quieting of the nerves, but the mind remains restless, untamed, darting from one problem to the next. A sense of helplessness can settle in. Perhaps some people are simply born calm, while others remain forever at the whim of their emotions. The truth, however, is far more hopeful and empowering. Inner calm is not a gift chosen for a lucky few. It is cultivated gently and persistently through simple daily practices. Like the patient builder adding stone upon stone, the impact Stoic recognizes that the habits repeated every day slowly become unbreakable ramparts around the soul. If a life of peace is your harbor, your construction begins now, with the smallest conscious efforts. Here lies the transformative power of this lesson. Strength and serenity are built through mindful routines, deliberate, positive patterns that become your shield against chaos and adversity. The core of this concept rests on the ancient idea that well-chosen daily anchor points can shape your destiny. Imagine lighting a small lamp every morning in the darkness, its glow held steady against the shifting night. In the practice of daily habits, you establish similar lights along the corridors of your day, rituals of reflection, movement, gratitude, or stillness. This is not grandiosity, it is humble repetition, strengthening your ability to return to peace even when the world clamors at your gates. Perhaps you choose 3 slow, deep breaths before stepping into a challenging conversation. Maybe you pause for a quiet walk at sunset, or journal a single lesson learned. Each act, though simple, forges the qualities of the silent Stoic: self-awareness, composure, and unwavering intention. These habits slowly retrain your mind to see adversity as familiar, but not frightening, a testing ground for growth, not defeat. Your responses become less reactive, more deliberate, choosing reason over fleeting impulse. As daily rhythms quiet inner noise, an undefeatable presence awakens inside you, a strength felt by all who encounter your steadiness. People are drawn to those with this underlying tranquility, sensing a source of silent power rarely shaken by circumstance. The repeated act of showing up for yourself, even in the smallest way each day, is the way fear is tamed and composure unlocked. Understand this wisdom is not trapped in ancient manuscripts, but alive in the simple moment you choose to build calm rather than chase it. Mastery of emotion is not a singular explosion of discipline, but an accumulation of choices, each shaping your mind over time. That fortress on the hill was not finished overnight. It was finished with persistence, unwavering intention, and the confidence that peace is not a prize, but a pattern patiently practiced. Every day grants a fresh opportunity, every small habit a stone in your growing foundation, inviting you to become the unwavering soul who faces chaos and masterfully remains at peace. Start by choosing one simple practice, deep breathing, reflection, or a quiet walk. Add it to your routine and guard it daily. Each time you return to this habit, your calm grows stronger, transforming how you meet life's storms. Next lesson, learn how detaching from destructive emotions can unlock even deeper self-mastery. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts below for more growth together. Lesson 4. Detach from destructive emotions. Picture a great tree standing atop a lonely hill, its branches impossibly wide, reaching calmly through every season. Storms rage, winds howl, and yet the tree endures. Its roots spread deep, its trunk unbending, offering a quiet lesson in resilience. We gaze at such trees with a kind of reverence, sensing in their poise a strength we hunger for in ourselves. Yet often, we are far from serene, for our spirit is tossed not only by outer storms, but by the harsh winds of our own unchecked emotions. Inside, a more subtle battle often rages, one that many people will recognize even if they rarely name aloud. Anger smolders after a harsh word from someone close. Jealousy creeps in when a friend's success reminds us of our own unmet hopes. Resentment, worry, and self-pity take root so quietly we barely notice them, until suddenly our day is filled with heaviness. We know these destructive emotions damage our relationships and shrink our capacity for happiness, but when they surge, they feel overwhelming, like wildfires out of control, burning up our peace and leaving us feeling powerless, even ashamed. Few have escaped this inner tyranny. You might find yourself replaying an insult over and over, the sting growing sharper each time. Or perhaps you worry about what cannot be changed, using up precious energy on imagined disasters. Maybe fear keeps you in place when you yearn to move forward, or blame entangles your every thought when life does not unfold as you wish. This is the secret sorrow of the undisciplined mind. To live at the mercy of every emotion, to be pulled along by each gust, never steering your own ship, but drifting wherever the currents of feeling command. How can we expect to meet life's storms and remain undefeated if a flicker of anger, envy, or doubt can set us adrift? The wisdom and power of Stoicism appear in moments like these, not as coldness, but as fierce clarity and deep self-compassion. Instead of fearing these surges of emotion or letting them dictate our actions, the silent Stoic learns to observe, name, and release them. Imagine your mind not as a battlefield, but as a clear lake. Thoughts and feelings come and go as leaves skimming across the surface. Some leaves are heavy, dark, and tangled, capable of disturbing the whole pond if you let them sink to the bottom. But you are not the leaves, you are the water itself, vast enough to remain calm no matter how many shadows touch your depths. This discipline of detachment is not indifference. It is the art of refusing to let momentary passions command your ship. The practice begins with simple awareness. Notice the emotion rising, acknowledge it without judging yourself, and then step back mentally, noticing that there is a space between your sensation and your action. Like an archer aiming at a distant, unseen target, you choose the moment to release your energy instead of firing randomly at every twitch of feeling. Over time, this habit becomes a shield, a steady anchor against the wildest internal tempests. To detach is not to deny what you feel, but to recognize you are more than fleeting emotion. You are the master of your response, not its captive. Developing this detachment means gradually destructive reactions lose their hold over your choices. Anger flashes but fades. Envy glimmers but cannot root deep. You free up courage that was locked in anxiety and unlock gratitude once smothered by bitterness. The Stoic does not aim to never feel, but to never be ruled. This is the discipline that draws others near, making your presence calming, trustworthy, and quietly attractive. To watch your emotional storms pass and stand steady is to become, step by step, undecorated and undefeatable. This living wisdom unlocks the silent, greater self that has been waiting within you. Patient as the ancient tree, enduring every weather, but always alive, awake, and growing stronger. When strong emotions arise, pause, name what you feel, and consciously create distance before responding. Each time you practice this, your self-mastery expands, and peace replaces turmoil. Begin now with one emotion today. In the next lesson, you'll discover why choosing reason over impulse unlocks even deeper power. To keep growing, subscribe, like, and share your thoughts with us. Lesson 5. Choose reason over impulse. Always step back for a moment and picture a ship at night, gliding over vast and silent waters beneath a scatter of cold, unwavering stars. Each star is a tiny point of light against limitless darkness, used by seasoned sailors to guide their course safely through treacherous seas. The one constant, the stars, offer the mariner calm and certainty, while the ocean's surface churns and roils with each passing wind or sudden storm. Just as the wise captain steadies his ship by fixed celestial points rather than capricious waves, your own mind possesses the power to choose careful reason over fleeting impulse, to follow the quiet guiding light within, even if the world around you is swept up in storms. Inside, this challenge is well known to anyone who strives for emotional mastery or personal impact. Maybe you have felt it, the frantic urge to say something sharp when wronged, the impulse to act on envy or anger, the magnetic pull of temptation that knows exactly when your guard is down. There's often a silent tug-of-war within, a gap between what you know to be right and the voice of passing feelings demanding immediate action. Late at night, when worries grow or your patience wears thin, you sense which part of you wins these quiet battles. The calm captain choosing the stars of reason, or the tempestuous crew whipping up a mutiny of emotions and desire. For far too many, the struggle can be overwhelming. Life is full of moments that provoke us, a careless driver, a disappointing setback, an uncomfortable truth exposed. Our culture praises rapid response, quick-fire emotions, immediate satisfaction. People can find themselves reacting without reflection, replying in anger before pausing to understand, or making snap decisions that haunt them for years. Each time this happens, regret and uncertainty tighten their grip, and your sense of self-mastery begins to slip from your hands. Impulses leave you not only vulnerable, but easily manipulated by circumstance, and rarely do they leave behind anything of substance or pride. But here enters the heart of Stoic strength, a wisdom as real as the stars and as accessible as your next breath. The transformative solution lies in a choice both radical and surprisingly gentle. To pause, even briefly, in the space between feeling and action, and let the clear voice of reason light your path. Reason is not emotion's enemy. Rather, it is the steady flame that tempers raw feeling into purpose. Choosing reason over impulse rewrites stories of regret and anxiety into ones of grounded confidence and calm influence. Imagine again the ship on its voyage. The seas may be wild, but with every thoughtful decision, every disciplined pause, you become more like the captain who learns to trust the stars. And over time, the night loses much of its threat. This skill, when gently practiced, becomes freedom itself. Not freedom from emotion, but freedom to respond wisely, no longer enslaved by every passing urge. Your responses to crisis or provocation become more deliberate, and in that careful control, your true character is forged. When reason shapes your words and guides your actions, people come to trust in your steadiness. You become magnetic, a source of courage for others and for yourself. Even the fiercest impressions, anger, jealousy, fear, lose their power to overwhelm you, because you have learned to hold each up to the steady light within. For the Stoic, this is the root from which all impact and resilience grow. To train your mind until reason is your constant companion, like a trusted star always overhead, never out of sight. With this discipline, life's unpredictability is no longer a threat, but a field of mastery. Choosing reason over impulse does not ask you to be cold or to deny what you feel. Instead, it awakens a still fire inside, the rare courage to act with wisdom and dignity, regardless of external noise or internal storms. This approach, though ancient, feels powerfully fresh every time you practice it. The daily choice to act from reason beckons you towards self-trust, calm authority, and ultimately, an undefeatable presence. This is how silent Stoics train their minds and transform each trivial moment into a testament of strength. When a strong impulse arises, pause, take a slow breath, and let reason guide your next step. The more you repeat this, the calmer and more resilient you become, making each response an act of self-mastery. Next, we'll explore how voluntary discomfort leads to deeper strength. Subscribe, like, and share your ideas to support our community. Lesson 6. Practice voluntary discomfort often. Consider a lone traveler walking beneath a pale dawn, his breath clouded as he chooses the harder path up a steep, stony hill instead of the inviting ease of the valley trail. Every step brings fresh challenge, biting winds, uneven ground, and the ache of fatigue growing with each stride. Yet, ever onward he moves through the discomfort, building endurance not just in his limbs, but in the spirit that guides him. His journey is a deliberate test, a silent pact with himself to search for strength in struggle rather than motionless comfort. If we look closer, we see the secret at the heart of this journey. There's a freedom, and ultimately an undefeatable peace, waiting for those bold enough to leave ease behind, even if only by small degrees each day. Across ages, most people seek safety in routines that insulate them from pain, unpredictability, and challenge. The instinct to avoid discomfort is woven into daily life, as if comfort alone can keep anxiety, fear, or weakness at bay. We fill our hours with conveniences and routines that protect us from hunger, cold, tiredness, or uncertainty. But as days blend together in familiar predictability, a subtle restlessness grows. Our spirit begins to hunger for a contact with life that comfort cannot give. Without realizing it, many wake up each morning finding they are anxious over small inconveniences, irritated by minor obstacles, and fearful of hardship that lies outside their practiced routines. This modern pattern creates a paradox. The more we shape our lives to avoid struggle, the less resilient and more anxious we become. Small setbacks suddenly feel insurmountable. Minor physical pains eat away at peace, and the prick of emotional discomfort ignites worry or resistance. The Impact Stoic sees this dilemma plainly. Humans were made for challenge, not perpetual ease. Just as metal must be tempered and fire to gain strength, the mind requires struggle, resistance, and even voluntary trials to become strong, calm, and undefeated. Without moments where comfort is set aside voluntarily, our courage softens, fear quietly expands, and mastery over our emotions dissolves into the wish that every difficulty would simply disappear. But deep wisdom, ancient and yet new each morning, offers a refreshed approach. Choose, on purpose, to practice discomfort when there is no need, and you will gain command over both fear and craving. This is not suffering for suffering's sake. It is the steady, gentle training of the spirit, awakening reserves of power that soft living cannot provide. When you occasionally deny yourself a usual comfort, like taking a cold shower, skipping a lavish meal, walking instead of driving, or embracing a physical or mental challenge, your mind learns something essential. You can face what you once avoided, and you survive. And more than survive, you grow. The true benefit is not in the physical trial itself, but in what happens beneath it. Each act of voluntary discomfort is an invitation to step outside your habitual boundaries, to discover new dimensions of courage, resilience, and even gratitude for simple pleasures. By choosing discomfort on your own terms, you prove to yourself that you are more than your cravings, stronger than your fears. The silent Stoic walks this path not for display, but because every conquered hardship, however small, expands the realm of the possible. The trivial becomes more bearable. Anxiety loosens its grip, and a quiet pride springs up. Suddenly, the world's unpredictable storms cannot shake you. Your spirit has become, through small trials, a steady ship on silent seas, confident in its power to weather all manner of storms. This old practice, treasured by Stoic masters, is thrillingly alive in every modern context. Every day that you embrace a minor hardship or discomfort by choice, you lift the weights of life in small repetitions, growing stronger, more unshakable, and more magnetic to others by your calm resolve. The fire that once seemed cold and fearsome now fills you with warmth from within. Fear recedes. Defeat has no place where courage is chosen, no matter how simple the gesture. Each time you rehearse discomfort, you unlock more of the undefeatable self that would always stay hidden in the soft shadow of safety. Thus, you train your mind and master your emotions, stone by stone, in the fortress called resilience. Today, pick a small discomfort, skip an indulgence, take a brisk walk, or sit quietly with boredom. Embrace it willingly. Every time you do this, your confidence and grit grow stronger, making you less shaken by life's real storms. Next, we'll see how embodying virtue in action transforms every part of your day. Subscribe, like, and join our discussion below. Lesson 7. Embody virtue in every action. Imagine a torch burning at midnight, its flame unwavering as shadows dance around it. In the storm's heart, when the wind gathers and doubts swirl, the torch does not falter or tremble. It illuminates, steady and fearless, lighting the way for others to follow. This is the torch of virtue, the quiet brilliance born not of chance or luck, but of daily, courageous commitment to what is right. The world admires such light. Even the fiercest tempests are rendered less daunting in its glow, and everyone who passes by feels safer, inspired by a presence that feels both ancient and indestructively alive. This is the rare gift of embodied virtue, true mastery, glowing from within, subtle but unmistakable, guiding both yourself and everyone who witnesses your strength. Yet within, almost everyone knows the battle between intention and action. Perhaps you've resolved to be honest, but hesitated when the truth felt inconvenient. Maybe you aim to show kindness, but falter in a moment of stress, or aspire to humility but are stung by the sharp urge to defend your image and pride. The inner struggle is universal, the wish to act well and the reality of human frailty scraping against each other every day. Often we praise virtue in thought, but at the moment of choice, let habit, emotion, or fear lead us astray. Afterward, regret and self-criticism fill the silence. Why did I act against my values? Why do I keep falling short? These private questions echo in the hearts of all who try to live with intention and honor. At its core, this conflict is one of consistency. How to align inner standards with outward behaviors, not occasionally, but moment by moment, especially when life makes it hardest to do so. Most people believe character is fixed, something you either have or do not. But this is one of the most persistent and damaging myths faced on the path of mastery. When disappointments and pressures mount, when pride, envy, or dissatisfaction try to rise above your true self, it's easy to justify momentary shortcuts, harsh words, or compromised actions. Over time, each compromise chips away at self-respect, diluting the inner sense of strength that used to burn steadily like that midnight torch. The solution is profound and refreshingly simple. Practice living your core virtues in action, one small choice at a time, until doing so becomes as natural as breathing. This is not a demand for perfection, but for persistence, to return again and again to justice, courage, honesty, and self-control, especially in times of stress. Virtue is not a rigid set of rules imposed by others. Instead, it grows from your deepest values, chosen deliberately and with awareness. Imagine the power of being the person others can count on in a crisis, the silent stoic whose calm and fairness shape even the most unpredictable moment. With every choice to act in line with your virtue, you pay into the reservoir of your own dignity, lighting a beacon that gives courage to those around you. Practicing virtue in every action means letting your behavior align visibly with your innermost beliefs, regardless of who is watching or what pressures swirl about. Each honest word, controlled reaction, or small kindness builds the muscular habit of integrity, a posture others find quietly magnetic, undefeated, and trustworthy. The more you repeat these acts, the more your nervous system settles, your emotional responses align with reason, and your very presence unlocks admiration and calm wherever you go. This discipline transforms uncertainty to confidence, anger to measured action, and temptation to purpose. As old wisdom reminds us, you become what you repeatedly do. Your repeated actions are the chisel, and virtue itself, the enduring statue revealed from the stone of habit and will. It is not easy, but it is within reach. With every crisis, every frustration, and every test of faith, a new chance arises. Stand firm, choose integrity, and be the unwavering light that shows others the power of the mastered mind and undefeatable heart. Ancient philosophers have called this the secret fuel of all greatness, the only way to become truly attractive in spirit, to yourself and others. And it is as real and needed today as it ever was. When you begin to approach life in this way, each day's small actions assemble a legacy of inner strength, resilience, and quiet impact. Just as the torch, night after night, stands unshakable, lighting the path in an ever-changing world. Start today by choosing one core virtue, honesty, patience, or kindness, and bring it deliberately into your smallest actions. Notice each decision and let your chosen virtue guide your response. With each repeated effort, your self-respect deepens and your influence grows, shaping a life of trust and confidence. Stay on this journey. Your best self is waiting. You've now explored the essential principles of the Stoic path: mastering emotion, accepting reality, building calm, detaching from destructive feelings, choosing reason, embracing discomfort, and living with virtue. Thank you for joining this journey. If you found value, please like, comment, and subscribe to support Stoic growth together.